Hello, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, back on the coast, tent behind me is the Taihang 2. I came down here for two reasons. One was to bring my daughter out on her first ever wild camp. She's out of shot just now, hiding, and we were going to go through the modification that I've done to the Taihang 2. Well, yesterday was such a lovely day. We just spent probably about 8 hours gibbering a lot to each other and telling little stories. So she enjoyed her first wild camp. Well, I believe she enjoyed her first wild camp. You did enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. She didn't enjoy the sleep.
She didn't enjoy the sleep. She didn't sleep much. The waves and that, and to be fair, she was on a wee tiny wee bit of a slope actually. Right, so I've got the Taihang 2 with me. I've done some modifications on it, so what I'm going to do in a second, I'm going to walk round it, just show you the modifications on the outside, and then we'll go inside and I'll show you the modifications that I've done on the interior. Right, first bit I've got here, I've got two extra loops that I've put in the front there for attaching guy points, and I put some the old strengthening tape on there as well, so it doesn't rip through the actual fly. So on both the doors, again, added the quick release clips that's on the outside. Now, that's so you can open up the zip if need be from the inside without it all blowing away, just to have a nosy out, and it stops the zip creep. Haven't had any issues with the zip creep, but I haven't had this tent out in high winds just yet. Okay, I've added an extra guy line here and on the other side. There was a bit of flapping about in the wind when I first used the tent. Now hopefully that has stopped that. Well, it did stop it. I was in it last night and there was no flapping whatsoever. It does pull it out ever so slightly, and you can see like a little sort of V shape going down to the guy point. Again, I've added a bit of the strengthening tape in there as well, just to stop it ripping off, but absolutely no flapping whatsoever with it. So on the guy line side, I've left them the way it actually comes. I'm not going to change them. I have ordered Dyneema guy lines to use at the front and the sides individually instead of having this system here. Still not too confident that that bit of plastic will hold up in strong winds, but until I get it up in strong winds, I'm not going to know. So we'll have a wee look inside now. Right, so the first thing you can probably see, there's a ground sheet in the porch area. This is off of my old Lanshan 1, so that was a ground sheet that came with that, so it's just been cut up and it's been stitched on to the ground sheet that comes with the Taihang 2. Instead of attaching with the shock cord, all I've done is just put some loops on there and used a couple of pegs to peg it in, because if you want to cook, you just take the peg out and pull it back. I was thinking about trying attaching it to these points here, but it just seemed to be too much if you wanted to take it off and roll it back if you were doing some cooking and stuff. Right, the next thing you probably noticed, there is a zip running across the door at the bottom now. So what I've done is I've added that zip in there so that you can open the door up fully, which I will do now if I can get in. Now these little covers here, where the two zips meet, there's obviously a gap, so these little covers here to stop any wind or any air blowing in there in the case that you get some high winds. So before, you would roll up the door and it would be sitting on the bottom there, so every time you go in and out you would get mud on it. I was not a fan of that at all. So this zip that's on here that I've used is off of my Lanshan 1. I've just used that. Now yeah, you've got the whole door out the way so you get in and out. And what I did on the inside here, I've added this pocket here, so you have a pocket, you also have a gap here just to stow away the actual door and keep it off the floor. And out your way. Yeah, so that's the door and its little storage area there. So as again I said, little hole here or here, so you can use it for keeping stuff in, or you can just keep the door away from the floor so it doesn't get all muddy. So inside, added another pocket here, and the only other thing you can see all the way at the back there, there's a little loop that's there. Oh, incidentally, I didn't mention that all the modifications I've done here, I've used parts of the old Lanshan 1 that got ripped, so all the loops etc. I've used off of that. The mesh for the pockets I didn't use it, I've got my own mesh, but everything else, the zips and all the fasteners etc. that I'll be using today are from the Lanshan 1, so basically recycled everything. So this gives you a better idea. So that's a little gap that you have where the two zips meet. So just put a little triangle of cloth over there. Looks a bit odd because they're not the same colour, but everybody that watches my videos, you'll know I'll be dyeing the inner of this green once I'm finished modifying it. Right, one of the other things that I've done at the back here, there is another little quick release clip. So what you can do with that is, I'll just show you here. So you've got the clip here that stops it a bit, so you can stops the door from opening up, so you can look out etc. But if you want to just let some air in, What I've done is put the other clip, I'll do it one-handed and hold this camera. Yeah, so just added a little clip onto the existing attachment point here. So if you just wanted to let a little bit of air in when you're cooking with the other side being open, you can do that, or just unclip it and close it up again. On the initial video of the Taihang 2, there was a couple of comments about is it possible to fold the front away. Now I've tried a couple of modifications that they didn't work, and then I just went for a simple sort of peg and loop sort of thing for it. So I'm going to set that up now, and then we'll go and have another look. Right, so to fold the porch area away, all I did was attach it with just the two little toggle. I'll take this out of the way, that's it. So all I did was add a little toggle and a little loop onto the existing. You've got an attachment seam that goes all the way around the inside of there, so you're not damaging the tent or anything like that. You're not affecting it's waterproof or anything like that. But that's what it is. It's just one of them. The only thing that you need to do to get this right is take a lot of trial and error. Is don't roll like you would normally do. You've got to roll the actual porch area in the way like this, so it gives it a bit of seam, a bit of tautness, that you can actually do it up, and then you just put the little toggle through like that, and that's it. But that's the Taihang 2 set up with the porch folded away. So it is possible. Only takes a couple of toggles on there. You could probably do it with a bit of short cord. Probably do the same thing to a certain degree, but it is possible. I don't know if this is a modification as such, but it's just utilising the porch and a couple of walking poles. And what I've got on the end of my walking poles, if you haven't seen the videos, I've got little attachment, the little socks that you can put over the actual poles, and you can attach things to. So that's what's holding that up, with a little guy line there and a guy line running down there. It can act as a wee sunshade, but it is a wee bit windy today here. It's blowing the camera about a little bit. Right, got to get packed up now because someone wants to go and catch a lobster, or see a lobster. Sebastian. She wants to see Sebastian. Sebastian's a crab, wasn't it a lobster? Anyway, right, if you've got any questions about the Taihang 2, stick it in the comments. If you've got any other suggestions, what I could add to it, again, put it in the comments. I will get the tent out in high winds and test it out that way on the guy lines, etc. before I do any modifications on those. May not need them. I'm definitely going to do away with the little plastic clip at some point between the two guy lines. I don't think that's strong enough for the kind of weather that we get in the UK. Right, going to head off now. We're going to go around to the other side of the cove there, see if we can spot some lobsters in the water, and I'll see you all again next time. Take care, everyone.